Hello, everyone, to the coolest Chelsea podcast, the best podcast in the Chelsea community. And today we are here, we are doing the first show on the coolest Chelsea podcast after the sacking or after Pochettino leaving Chelsea Football Club, however you want to put it. This is the post Pochettino era. This is the era of greatness, of hope, of progress, of stability. Tobeho, sir, welcome to the show. And please express the feeling. How is the feeling? How is the confidence the Chelsea fans are celebrating right now? I know there are fans who are not happy. What's your take? What is the feeling? This is a very critical time in the future of Chelsea Football Club. And then, sir, there are so many updates. Feel free to take over from here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jerry. I appreciate it. To be honest, in terms of Mauricio Pochettino being sacked, I've said it several times on my stream that he's making so many mistakes, and our owners will know them, right? Because there will be a review at the end of the season. He said so many things that was was annoying. Also, many things didn't make sense. Like for example, I remember they asked him about the his team. He said, "No, no, this not my players." Those kind of things, right? They talked about, oh, my team from Espanyol, Southampton, Tottenham Spurs, PSG. So this is not my team. You know how I play, right? Those kind of things. I think our owners were annoyed about those kind of things. Also, last thing he said, I think maybe the owners might sack him for is saying in public, saying that if he's being reviewed, everyone should be reviewed. So how can you say your owners should be, your bosses should be reviewed also? Doesn't make sense. And from the start of the season, he played many players out of position, those kind of things. And then we won 3 games out of 10 from our first 10 games, and we should have done better there. So overall, that's my thought about Mauricio Pochettino. The era of Mauricio Pochettino is no more. Let's move forward, Jerry.
So, sir, let's go one by one with all the managers linked. There are so much out there, a lot of updates every single minute or every other minute, maybe if not every minute, every 30 seconds, sometime every 80 seconds, sometime every 5 seconds on the social media, on the press, on the mainstream, in the Chelsea community, on Sky, ESPN, BT, private collaborators, journalists. So many names have been thrown, and according to my observation and all of the stuff that is there, and I, according to the best of my abilities, try to figure out the credible sources. It's difficult to really get a feeling, but there are 3 to 4 names we can be sure of that are really under serious consideration. So, Sir Tubeho, because you understand different managers, the different styles. So, of course, this is a shorter version of the podcast. So let's go one by one. Your take, your opinion, and how do you see the managers we talk on as we go on for the Chelsea job. So Enzo Maresca, to be very honest, let me raise my hands. I don't know much about him apart from his name and that he worked under Pep. So that is where some of the Chelsea fans are criticizing that we are going for such managers who are not yet proven and don't have established profile. So also you let me know your thoughts on that. Is this okay? Is this you can say a good decision if they are really going for managers who have not proved at the highest level? So Enzo Maresca is a serious contender. An update an hour ago on Telegraph is a serious contender to take over Chelsea. Release clause is near 10 million. So Tubeho, first of all, should we go for such profile? If so, then why do you think Enzo Maresca, or what do you think on Enzo Maresca? But this release clause, personally, I'm not in favor. Let's say if we sell Gallagher, Chalaba, but we are okay to pay the release clause. So, sir, what's your take on that?
To be honest, Enzo Maresca is one of the best potential coaches there. I'm not saying it's world class yet, but you can see his work at Leicester City, right? His first season at Leicester City in the Championship, they won the league and they promoted to the Premier League. I'm telling you right now, if you watch the Championship, people will make excuses. If you watch the Championship, that league is not easy. It's demanding because we are playing, I think it's 46 games in the season, if I'm correct, adding to the Carabao Cups and the FA Cups overall. And then he started very well. He won 10 out of 11 first games at Leicester City. Also, what I like about him, he plays a positional style of play, right? He likes his team to control the game overall. So I like this name. I even watched Leicester City a lot this season. But if you watch Chelsea against Leicester City, I think it was the FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or the Carabao Cup. We played against them. We didn't play well that game. Leicester City controlled the game. You saw it, especially in the second half. We were clueless until they got that silly red card, and we started to gain momentum, and we won that game due to Kani Chukwuemeka and Noni Madueke late goals, right? So overall, I like this name, and I know like most of the fans will campaign. We need an elite coach. I always say that we need an elite coach, but at the same time, I think it's important to respect what our owners are trying to build. They have their own philosophy, and unfortunately, we can't change their mind. So I like this name. I'm still doing my research about him. I'll let you more as time goes on, maybe in the coming days about him.
Yes, Tubeho, very well explained. And yes, I see the potential and the achievement so far and the style of play. So I agree with that. But again, this is unprecedented in recent times that the club of the magnitude of Chelsea would go for such profile. Not saying it's wrong, but still it's a little bit. I mean, it's a lot for the fan base to understand. Except maybe they are very innovative with their planning, and who is to say that this won't work, right? Because some people are giving the example of Guardiola, Zidane. They also came from the B ranks and straight into the main the first team. So let's go into the second name that is linked, that is heavily linked, I would say, with Chelsea Football Club. If you can please put this tweet on the screen, sir. So I'll read and then I'll ask you, sir, your opinion. Karen McKenna. Maybe we should get used to it, or rehearse. Maybe it's a strong possibility. So Karen McKenna is waiting for Chelsea. According to Fabrizio Romano, he has received really important proposal from Brighton, but he is waiting for Chelsea. So this message is clear that he prefers Chelsea over Brighton, which should be a no-brainer. So Karen McKenna, as we are all learning, sir, to Beho, our audience, we are all learning. But the work he did at Ipswich with two back-to-back promotion, I think is an incredible work, right? Is an incredible work. But is the leap from Championship to Premier League and then to Chelsea, is it too big? This is the question, sir. Will it be too big if we go for him? But one more point. At the same time, although he did not coach in the Premier League, but he was an assistant under Mourinho, under Ole Gunnar. So as an assistant, as a part of the management coaching staff, he has worked for a couple of years. So in a way, how I see is that he has an experience. He has an experience of the Premier League. So, sir, your view on Karen McKenna?
To be honest, I I am not sure yet about him. I know he's one of the young potential coaches, But as a Chelsea fan, I'm not sure about him, right? But beside that, I'm gonna give you my view about him. Even you can check my tweets on X, right? I think it was December. I said it that look at this coach. He might be one of the best coaches, right? And at that time I said I don't want him. But now look at now. He's linked to Chelsea. This guy done incredible work. Back to back promotion. I'm telling you right now, it's not easy, especially with the same squad in the championship and they got promoted. Come on, it's not easy. People will make excuses. Oh, this is the Champions League. This is not Chelsea level. Are you kidding me? Every coach have their dreams, right? And then their dream or their goals is one day to coach big clubs. So I'm gonna advise Chelsea fans, go and do your own research about this guy. I did my research on December. Even now, I'm still doing it. And I watched one of his interviews. He talked about he was advised to study physiology, those kind of things, just to understand more about his man management, those kind of things, right? Even even our player Omari Hutchison went there alone. If you can listen to Omari talking about McKenna, you can see this coach is very good. If you can watch his videos, clips, whatever you call them, right? You can see he built a relationship with the fans, which we didn't have with Mauricio Pochettino didn't care about Chelsea fans. Yes, he said he doesn't want to build a fake relationship and stuff, but at least try something. So with McKenna, I'm still not sure, but I wouldn't mind him at Chelsea. But one thing I don't like about him is not a personal coach. I said it several times. We need a coach who's obsessed with position, but also know how to attack and create goals. The team to create goals and win games. So I'm still not sure yet about McKenna. What can you say about him?
Tobeho, to be honest, I always try to be honest. For me, when this was linked, for me it didn't make sense because of course we all have gone through or all have watched football. We have seen how football works, how it has evolved. It is evolving, but this, I'm not saying it won't work, but this for my liking is a little too early. Things always evolve. This could be a new generation or a new new direction that the clubs would take. And who is to say, as you said, he worked on the psychological aspects on different things. And to be a great manager, the most important thing is your understanding of the game. Even if you have experience in second division or worked as an assistant for a few years or part of a coaching staff, it depends. Some managers can be very quick to understand the dynamics, to understand the philosophy, the tactics. You just need to be clear, right? Because the players have to play. I'm not saying that the job of a manager or coach is easy, but if you know what you're doing, if you have really studied it well, although it could be a 2, 3, 4 years experience in different leagues or second division, you can still compete. I have no doubt about that. But in that context, I have no doubt about that. But to come to a club like Chelsea when the all eyes of the fans, the media, every single day, every game, sorry, is on the manager. With every single loss, every bad result, the pressure will mount. So no matter if you are a great tactician, no matter if in the second division you have learned or mastered the craft of tactics, formation, strategy, in that context, I will welcome him, right? I don't see any issue him taking on Chelsea and being a great tactician. That he can do. But the other 30-40%, uh, you can say, uh, the 30-40% area, or where the manager also have to deal with that is related to the game, is the pressure, is the pressure of the job, is the pressure of the occasion. So if the results go bad, it will be a new experience for him or for any upcoming manager, right? And the pressure of the job, expectation of the fans, and the situation. Even though you are technically very good, you are good at your work, but it can make you, do things that are not your attributes or not your strength. For instance, if you lose the first three games in a row, the pressure will be right there. How will he react? Will he believe in his formation, in his work, in all of his tactics, or will he be under significant pressure and it will impact his formation, his communication, his relationship with the players? So those things are very important as well. As I said, 30-40% component, I would say, that is also a part, although it is non-technical, but it becomes it the pressure or the expectation becomes so big that it can it can make you take decisions that are probably not what you want to do. You want to try a new way. You feel the pressure, or you feel that, look, for me to sustain this job, get the backing of the fans and even the board, I need to do something else, right? Will he be strong? Will he be strong enough to go there, even if things don't work, handle the media, handle the fans, and the players? The players, have a lot of power these days, more than ever before. Will he be able to cope with that and get the respect from the players? So, in that category, if I was able to explain my point, I think it's a huge risk, and I don't know how he will deal with that. But as far as him being a tactician, a coach, I don't see any problem. So again, the conclusion is that it's a risk. To my liking, it's a little bit too early. So let's move to the next managers, and let me share with you, sir, just in a second. Just in a second. And the audience who are watching this, who will watch later, who will share with your family and friends, first, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share with all of your family and friends. Share it on your social media. Tell everyone to follow the Coolest Chelsea podcast, the best podcast, honestly, in my opinion, in the Chelsea community. And you will see a lot of content in the summer. So, Tobeho, please, if you can share this tweet. And I read, this is from the man himself, the coolest Chelsea. Coolest Chelsea, Tobeho says Ruben Amorim and Roberto De Zerbi are leading the race to replace Mauricio Pochettino in the summer if the club sack him. So we have already covered two managers, and Amorim, although his name is there, and then in other uh, mainstream reports or updates, he's not there, but then he's there again. But we know he is still in the loop. And also Roberto De Zerbi, although De Zerbi name is also there, perhaps as a third or fourth choice. But if we go with the bookmaker, he's still the odd-on favorites. So Tobeho, your tweet, you believe there could be two options. Personally, I will just say right now, before giving the microphone to you, sir, that I will take Ruben Amorim any day of the week over all the names that are mentioned. With all due respect, I think it should be a no-brainer. He is better, clearly, in my analysis, and I believe in your analysis as well. And even if we have to go for Roberto De Zerbi, that might sound strange to a few people because I was not really confident or backing him to be our next manager. But given the two managers we talked about, with no disrespect, I think you have discussed their strengths. I have discussed their strengths, especially McKenna, but we have some reservations to how they will cope with it. Ruben Amorim, I don't have any reservation at all. I believe that I won't say he is the next big thing, but Amorim, along with Nagelsmann, I would say the two managers of the next decade. I'm saying it here. Please note it down, record this, save this. Ruben Amorim and Julian Nagelsmann, two of the best managers of the next decade. Means from today up till the next 10 years, maybe 15, two standout candidates. This is my prediction, and I honestly believe in that. So Ruben Amorim should be a no-brainer. Roberto De Zerbi, I will take him over Enzo and McKenna. I will take him. So, sir, what's your take? What's your take? These are two other names. You can go one by one. Ruben Amorim and De Zerbi. Will you take them? Will you take them?
Yeah, to be honest, I was told by my source that Ruben Amorim, Dizebi might be the potential replacement for Mauricio Pochettino if it's gonna be sacked by our owners. And then now all the media they are ruling them out, but even some other outlets are saying Dizebi is still there. Some other outlets are saying Ruben Amorim are still there. And Metlo reported today said that there's an unknown manager or let's say a mystery manager that is not revealed yet. At the moment, all the Chelsea fans are on the loop. Even some journalists are on the loop. They don't know who might be that. So personally, I think he might be Ruben Amarim or Dizebi, right? And remember, interesting thing about Dizebi, recently, an outlet from Italy said there's a Premier League club paid 5 million to Brighton in order to purchase Dizebi. Even now, we haven't had any Premier League talked about Dizebi. So check on that, guys. But to be honest, let me talk about these two coaches. Firstly, Ruben Amorim is one of my favorite coaches. I would love him at Chelsea day and night. You can name it, right? I believe he on his style of play, and I believe on his philosophy, the way he built culture, the way he developed players. They must do their own research. I know most of people don't like the way he set up his team. Let's say this 3-4-3 system, but who cares about the system? We care about winning games no matter what. And his style of play is so interesting. They play so beautiful football. So overall, I don't want to talk more about Ruben Amorim. You know, I love him. With Disebi, I think he's one of the young best coaches in the world. We saw that in Brighton. But my biggest issue is only this: his defensive setup, right? He he let his defenders be exposed and doesn't have a plan B, just like the Tottenham Hotspur coach. He played highlight football, doesn't have a plan B. So I'm still have a question mark on Dizebi. If he come at Chelsea, does he have a plan B if maybe we are losing those kind of things, right? So I'm still not sure yet. But again, some of Chelsea fans like Dizebi. And one thing about Dizebi, he plays a personal football, which most of the fans will love him at Chelsea. And personally, I said it, I want a coach that will play a personal football because most of the players we have, they can suit that style of play. So I don't know about you, Jerry.
Yeah, for me, Ruben Amorim is definitely, as I said, I see him as the best coach with Nagelsmann, the young best coaches moving forward. So I'm surprised if they won't go for Ruben Amorim. If anything, as you said, yes, I agree that De Zerbi's style would be liked by the fans, and it might suit some of the young players who are good for this possession-based style. But as you said earlier, I agree with that. And it's reported that they are looking for a manager who plays possession best. But I think this is incorrect. This is not the right way to go about it. When you pick a manager, you should not care how they play. I mean, you should not care that they should play the way you want. It should be based on if they can get the result or not, right? And personally, I love 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, right? I love it. So I have been a huge fan of Mourinho as well. I have been a huge fan of Diego Simeone as well, of Antonio Conte as well. The point is that if you can win with a defensive setup, no problem. Just be the best at what you do. You know, my favorite manager is Hansi Flick. He's anything but a defensive manager. He plays a high line, high press. So I love him as well. So I don't care about the system. I don't have a preference. I would love the best days of Mourinho, and I would even love the parking of the bus if it gives you the result. I would love Simeone's parking of the bus. I mean, in his prime time, 2014 to 2018, I was a huge fan of Simeone. I won't say Atletico Madrid because I only support Chelsea. I was fascinated the way he won two league titles. In that period, he went to two Champions League final, and I saw many games of Atletico. The way they defended, it was better than watching a team score 10 goals. Yes, I'm sure many people will agree with that. That amazing defense. So we have to win the games. Who cares if we have a 30%, 32, 34% possession? Who cares? If we know we are doing well and it's fun, like JC, enjoy the defensive setup, right? Every time Pochettino did well as a defense with his defense, he appreciated that. Who cares? And this concept of having a manager who plays position based, I think it's unnecessary, and people are being obsessed with that. And it's nothing. There's nothing you can say spectacular about it. Hey, he plays a attacking system. Everyone, most of the managers doing that. So even I can wake up tomorrow morning and go to a school and make the school kids play a possession based system. It's not that I am a football expert or a genius to do that. All I have to do is just set the team to play attacking based, a high press, a high line, whatever, or defensive. I just, how good you do it. You understand the point? Everyone, every single human being can go there and tell the team that this is how we set up, this is the way, this is how you keep the ball, play possession based. But how many can get the result? Every other upcoming manager, possession based, attacking football. I think this is absolutely nonsense. See who can do well. Like Hansi Flick with the high press, high line attacking philosophy. Same Postecoglou is doing, but he's not great at it. He's a good manager, I would say, but I'm just saying, he did not go achieve a lot, I would say. He started well, did terrible with Tottenham in the last 3 months, lost 70% of the games. Many managers play attacking football. Uh, so this is not the criteria. So I would go for Ruben Amorim if I have a choice. It's not even a choice. It's if the list is Ruben Amorim and Enzo Maresca, uh, Thomas Frank, and McKenna. I mean, you just closed both of your eyes and give it to Ruben Amorim. You just give it to Ruben Amorim. But not, right now, I don't want to be negative. I will just hope and let them do their job and see what they want to do. I want to observe and would like to believe that they are doing something that is logical, that makes sense. So yes, and De Zerbi, again, as I said, if it's not Ruben Amorim, then I'll take De Zerbi as the second choice because of his experience in the league, 2 years in the league, and what he did with Brighton when he had Coville, when he had Caicedo, McAllister. So it's still a good case for De Zerbi. So let's move now as we end the show to the final candidate, sir. To the final candidate. It will be interesting. I know you have some interesting thoughts on him. I believe you already imagine who I'm talking about. If you can please share this on the screen. And without me even saying anything, or just let me read the headline. Thomas Frank mentioned internally for Chelsea job. Sir, what's your take on Thomas Frank?
Man, this is the funny one. This is the funniest one, right? Thomas Frank have been in the Premier League. I think maybe let's say 3 to 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I haven't seen Brentford at least trying to finish for for the European competition. Let's say this: the Zebi came in and then outlast him. Unai Emery went to Aston Villa, outlast him. right? And I will say this: when the coach is good, no matter which kind of players we have, you always gonna do well, no matter what. So, man, I don't want this coach at Chelsea. I don't want to analyze more about him. I don't want him at Chelsea. Yes, he built Brentford. Brentford sometimes play a beautiful style of play, those kind of things, right? But overall, I don't think it's good enough for Chelsea. And another thing, I don't want another English manager at Chelsea until I see a good one. And Thomas Frank, for me, is not the guy. So, Jerry, I don't want to analyze a lot about Thomas Frank. He's not the guy for me for a Chelsea job. That's it.
No, I agree with you. I have the same opinion. If this is the list of the five managers, then he would be, all I can say is that he would be my last choice. No disrespect, of course. I respect all the professionals. And I think he did a decent job at Brentford, but that's it. It's nothing that significant that you go for him. I can understand the McKennas of this world that they are upcoming. They did well. They did very, very well. You understand, you go with the potential and you get him. I understand that. But or you go for a Hansi Flick or a Thomas Tuchel, right? Either you go for a very established elite manager, or you go for a young potential manager who has all the tools and attributes to be a good manager. Both are okay. Elite manager, proven manager, or very new upcoming manager, but the assessment and the analysis say he's a great manager. But Thomas Frank is not an elite manager and not a new and upcoming manager. You see the point. Already here 3 or more than 3 years and maintain the level of being a mid-table about that. Just decent performances, few good phases. So in that context, I hope I explained it well. It doesn't make sense if you're going for a new and upcoming manager. Even if I don't, you can say prefer that approach, but I understand that approach. Or going for an elite is obviously no one would complain with that. But going for a manager who has yes maintained some consistency to a level that is I don't see that this journey of 3 years to be very impressive. Yes, Brentford didn't have the funds, but I mean, if you compare it, it's Pochettino had the same funds, if not more, and he finished top four with Tottenham. Unai Emery in his first season finished in the Champions League. So at least he should be near top six, top four in 3 years. So if the progression is just mid-table and just to sustain the Premier League, then I really don't think so. It will be a good move, and I will be very surprised that if they go for him, then why did they go for him? So I think we have come to the end of the show. Tubeho, you can conclude your coolest Chelsea podcast. So before you do, I just want to tell the audience we have analyzed these five coaches very briefly in this podcast. Once the coach is announced, which we know according to the reports will be done by the mid or the end of next week, we will of course have more shows before that. But once the coach will be officially announced, we will have a 2 hour in-depth analysis on that coach. Right now, because we only know the candidates, we are just talking about them to a certain degree. So once the coach will be announced, we promise you that we will have a 2 hour in-depth analysis on that coach. Tobeho, thank you so much for the show. Please, sir, you can conclude the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jersey. I appreciate it. Also, guys, I will share his link to his YouTube channel, right? Jersey's YouTube channel. Please subscribe to his show. He analyzed so many things about Chelsea, and he was one of the biggest Mauricio Pochettino fan, and he was hoping that he would do well at Chelsea, but he was so disappointed due to several things, right? So overall, I would like to say, guys, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the channel to everyone that you know. Also, Let us know on the comment section which coach is most suited for this squad. Also, let us know, was it fair to sack Mauricio Pochettino? Have the chance, guys.